been known to be an overachiever. So no one was surprised when I had a midlife crisis at 27. You see, life was going all wrong. I'd just broken up with my boyfriend. I'd been fired from my job, and I barely had 2 nickels to rub together. I needed paradise. I needed someplace I could go where there weren't any problems and I could just figure out what was next. So I took the last money that I had and I bought a ticket to Hawaii. I was gonna camp on the beach for 8 weeks. No, I didn't say 8 days, I said 8 weeks. I already told you I'm an overachiever. So I got there to find that beach camping isn't all that it's cracked up to be. Between the sand that liked to fill up my tent and the bees and gecko lizards that sent me running from the shower with soap in my eyes, paradise was kicking my butt. And that's when I met Big John Davy. Now, Big John was the island's teddy bear and philosopher. He was originally from Seattle. In his younger days, he was a surfer and a firefighter, but he'd taken the island lifestyle a bit too much to heart. So now at 400 pounds, well, his surfboard sank, so he just took to sitting on the beach a lot. And you could find him there every day after his orange juice deliveries to the resorts. Now, when he heard about my trouble, he offered to loan me his van. Now, this wasn't just any van. This was a 1979 lime green Volkswagen camper bus with a pop top, all decked out for the beach lifestyle. So I jumped at the chance. Now, as he handed me the keys, he said, there's just a couple things you gotta know. First, put a quart of oil in it every time you fill it up with gas. Second, don't ever drive it into town. It doesn't have a current license plate or insurance. Never stop on an uphill. It'll roll back on you. The brakes don't work that good. One more thing. Just remember, these models, they're prone to bursting into flames. If that happens, don't worry. I'll come pick you up. Well, it sounded good to me, so I took the keys, and down the road I went. Sure, I'd have a new lease on paradise. Now, it was a lot of fun in the van, and I was liking my new Zen self. You see, I was the envy of the campground everywhere I went. Now, one night, I wanted a little solitude, so I took it down a jagged lava road just outside of Kona. And just as it was starting to get dark, it was starting to be dusk, I got my curry chicken camp meal bubbling on the stove, and I went to the beach to meditate for a few minutes while it heated up. Now, I remembered that I left the spoon in the pan. And so when I ran back to get it, that's when I found I was no longer the only camper. My van was filled with cats. And feral cats. They look like domesticated kitties, but they're not. They're mean, they're diseased, and they don't want anything to do with people. And I'm talking 50 of them. Now, I've never been scared of cats before, but as I looked into this storm of hissing and glowing eyes, I wanted to scream, but nothing would come out of my mouth. I wanted to run, but my legs wouldn't move, and my fear turned to anger when I saw those damn cats were eating my dinner. Now, when I realized that they were eating my dinner, but they had something else on their mind, they looked at me like I was the main course. I felt myself free fall down the food chain, and I could just see the headlines in the paper the next day. Beach closed due to unemployed, overachieving failure, eaten alive by cats. I had to think fast. I had to reclaim my van and save my life. So I channeled my inner Braveheart and I charged right into the center of that storm. I kicked, I swatted, I yelled to get them out of the van, but it was to no use. It was like herding cats. So I reached into my pocket. Trying to find a forgotten weapon, and I pulled out a ball of lint. I threw it down, and just as I did, an ocean breeze picked it up and sent it tumbling down the beach in the dusk light. I watched as the cats became transfixed, and they thought it was a mouse. And in one flash, they jumped out of the van, and all of them ran after it. It was my God-given exit. So I jumped in the driver's seat, and I got up that lava road with my life. Now, when I saw Big John the next day, and I told him about the incident, He said, "Oh, that happened to me a few weeks back." He said, "So I just closed the van door and drove to the Humane Society with a delivery." He said, "You just got cats in your van back home. What you got to get is that paradise is portable. It'll be wherever you are once you learn how to herd your cats. And if you can't, it's just another day in paradise, minus the paradise." So with that, I gave John the keys, and I came back here to Boulder to rewrite my own paradise. And the first thing I did when I got here was buy a dog.